So there has been a lot of misconceptions about God not existence or Jesus being a better God or some things like that. A lot of people have been bargaining about me and trying to push me into becoming an atheist, or other people trying to convince me into to worship another God. You can worship another God, you can be atheist, I don't care, honestly. I'm just here. You have your argument, I have my argument. I'm just here to prove my point of the thing that I believe in, which is Allah. So, first, people use the argument of different blood types to debunk God's existence. Apparently, when Adam and Eva were born and sent to Earth, God has descended upon more women for Adam to impregnate, and some other quotes in the Quran say that siblings have been marrying each other, making the genetics to go nuts and act behaviorally, which caused the different blood types to happen. And some other people use the Big Bang Theory. I'm gonna admit that it's pretty much smart of you to use that little thing, but at the same time it's pretty stupid. Like, simple elements colliding together and exploding couldn't have possibly created the brain that I'm using to say these words that I'm saying now. It couldn't have possibly created the lungs that I'm using to breathe. It couldn't have possibly created the heart that is beating the blood inside of my body. It couldn't have possibly created the stomach that I'm using to eat. It couldn't have possibly created the way I shit, or the way everyone reproduces. Couldn't have possibly created the stars in the sky. Couldn't have possibly created the celestials, the galaxies, the solar systems. It couldn't have possibly created any of that. Do you want to know why? It simply can't. It's a divine action, not a mere mortal's action. That's a mere element, not a divine material. Another thing that using souls. Other people don't believe in souls. Apparently, they believe in the past lives. Past lives don't exist, alright? Past lives don't exist. Not for my religion, not in my religion, that is. Past lives do not exist. Another thing, the souls are spiritual. We are spiritual entities trapped inside a physical body. Basically, when we die, that abstract body of ours gets freed and goes to the sky, or to the afterlife where God resides on. Oh, another thing. You know in the Norse mythology when there's this world tree? The world tree is actually real in Islam. Yes, that's right, the world tree does exist. Coincidence? Yes, it is a coincidence. Or maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, the world tree does exist, and there are other infinite possibilities, and all of this is below God's existence. Allah controls all of this. Another thing that atheists use, that if God is omnipotent, then that means he exists everywhere at once, like in the past, present, and the future. If he does, he already knows what's going to happen, so what's the point of testing us? First, it's been said that there are things we do not know, a lot of secrets. Second, you do realize there is ultipotence, right? Like being omnipotent without being omniscient or omnipresent. There are other things, other quotes in Quran that say that God uses omnipotence to avoid being omniscient and omnipresent. Another thing the atheists use, if God is the one that decides our fate, then he's being abusive. Well, that's a no as well. You see, your desires, they are the things that are boiling inside of you. It's based on the experiments you had, and based on the desires you have, God makes the life You won't. If you want to be a murderer, God's gonna make your life based on murder actions. You want to be a good guy, God's gonna make your life based on a good guy's action. And whatever you suffer, if you're a believer and a good person, whenever you suffer, always remember that in the afterlife, you will be rewarded for everything. Another thing, most people think atheists go to hell, right? No. There's this thing called outside paradox, where they're trapped between heaven and hell. They watch the beauty of heaven and the terror of hell, and that's their punishment for not believing. I mean, they're not non-believers that are bad, they're just non-believers and still good people. And that's not bad at all. I mean, most Arab here are bad. And why? Because they are non-believers. And most of them are good because they are believers. But no, atheists that are good here don't exist. In Arab, atheists that are good don't exist. They only exist outside. So a non-believer that is actually a good person is actually pretty nice. We don't mind that. And also, they do not go to hell. Again, there's this thing called outside paradox, or outside paradise. I really don't remember. Where they watch the beauty of heaven and the terror of hell, just like I said before. And then there's this other thing that proves God's existence, which are the miracles. An entire village saw a messenger that I totally did not forget his name, resurrect a dead one. The Quran, the holy books of every religion is basically a miracle. But I'm gonna talk about the things that I believe in, which is Quran. Quran is a bunch of boats. Arab back then were known for being the best, and I mean the best, the top tier poets in all of the world. So for Muhammad to prove that a God exists, they asked him to make a boat that none of them can ever make. A boat that can never be repeated or made a similar one to. And that's where Quran came in. And guess what? None of them was ever able to make a similar boat to it. None. Literally none. And there is other miracle of the Quran, where Quran is explained differently throughout every generation based on the events of that specific generation. That's another miracle of the Quran. Like, be atheist, be Christian, I don't care. Worship whoever you want to worship. I don't care. I'm just here. You have your argument, I have my argument. I'm just here trying to prove my points, the points of the thing that I believe in. So please, don't come at me again trying to tell me to worship another God, because I simply don't see that God in my eyes. And that God is basically a joke to me and means nothing. Not to be offensive to other religions. So that's it for today. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Goodbye.